Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
One final goodbye. I'm Mola Lengi in Houston, Texas, where the late President Bush will be honored today before being buried at his presidential library.
And President George H.W. Bush will be buried today in Texas during private services. We will have that story for you in just a moment. Meantime, we do also have a story, Bozeman High School looking at redistricting, how that's all going to work with the construction of the new high schools.
That's right.
We'll have that story in
boundaries.
Just a moment. That's absolutely
yes,
right. We will have that story. But as Mola mentioned, President George H.W. Bush will be buried today in Texas during private service with his family.
CBS's Mola Lengi is outside the church in Houston with details on how his family said some of their final goodbyes.
Texans filed through St. Martin's Episcopal Church to say goodbye to President George H.W. Bush.
It just feels like a family member has passed.
His casket was flown to Houston yesterday aboard Air Force One, renamed Special Air Mission 41. Along the way, it passed over his presidential library as hundreds came out to pay tribute.
Just an awesome feeling. I mean, happy, sad. I mean, you know, a passing of a great man.
A funeral service will be held at St. Martin's this morning, and then a train will take Mr. Bush's casket to his presidential library, where he'll be buried next to his wife Barbara and their young daughter Robin.
In the long and honored history of America.
A service at the National Cathedral in Washington yesterday brought together all 5 living presidents. President Trump shook hands with the Obamas, while the Clintons stared straight ahead. President George W. Bush delivered a historic and emotional eulogy.
The best father a son or daughter could have. And in our grief, let us smile knowing that Dad is hugging Robin and holding Mom's hand again.
The nation's 43rd president mixed in some humor as he said goodbye to his father, the nation's 41st.
The man couldn't stomach vegetables, especially broccoli.
Following the service, the hearse drove by the World War II Memorial, a nod to the late president's service as a Navy pilot. Mola Lengi, CBS News, Houston, Texas.
Now, the train that will take President Bush's body from Houston to his library in College Station is a special locomotive unveiled in 2005. It was painted to look like Air Force One, dubbed 4141 in honor of the 41st president. It is the 8th presidential funeral train and the first since Dwight Eisenhower's remains were carried from Washington to his native Kansas. Abraham Lincoln had the nation's first presidential funeral train in 1865. Wow.
I love the tradition part of that.
That's very
awesome.
cool.
That's it.
Very cool.
Something else that's very cool right now?
The weather.
Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Our weather watcher Ken sent us an update and he said, it's just cold, let's say that.
Yeah.
From West Yellowstone.
Yeah, he's from West Yellowstone. It certainly is true, and it's warmed up.
That's well said, by the way, by Ken.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. 7 degrees warmer than when we started the show this morning. It's 24 below. It was 31. It looks like we're going to be dealing with some pretty cold temperatures, especially for the first part of the day. Should see some sunshine for the afternoon. Lows in or highs, which are normally our lows. I'm going to start over. It's cold. Temperatures holding into the 20s for afternoon highs. We'll talk about a bit of a warm-up for the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
I just did the math on how cold it is. It's 17 degrees in Glendive. That's 42 degrees warmer than it is in West Yellowstone.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Wow.
a crazy span right there. 6:33, we're going to shift gears just a bit. Even though winter doesn't officially start until the 21st of December, Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center says avalanche danger is on the rise around southwest Montana. For both the Gallatin and Madison ranges, all wind-loaded slopes are rated as having considerable avalanche danger. All other slopes rated as moderate right now. Strong winds this week have been blowing snow from one side of the mountains to the other, causing those wind-loaded slopes to become prone to avalanches.
You find these smooth, kind of drummy sounding wells of snow, drifts of snow, and if they crack, like if you're approaching them, you get a crack to just shoot out like 10, 15 feet in front of your skis or your feet. That's a sign that the slope is ripe to avalanche and you should not proceed any further.
Gallatin National Forest Avalanche Center recommends that ice climbers, including those in town for the Ice Festival, skiers, and backcountry travelers, check out the avalanche advisory, which is updated every morning.
Know before you go, absolutely. And tonight at 6 p.m., the Bozeman School District will be holding a public information session about the boundaries for the new high school. MTN's Emma Hamilton has more on the options that are being considered.
The High School Transition Committee has been brainstorming various options for when Bozeman has two high schools come the fall of 2020.
We want to be as transparent as possible, and we want as many people to have as much information as possible for regarding the process that the committee has been going through since last spring and determining where the boundary line is going to be.
There are currently 5 different options. The green part of the map is for High School 2, while the red is for the current high school. Option A follows 19th south from the interstate and goes along the east edge of Anderson and Cottonwood district boundary to the Gallatin Gateway district boundary. It then follows east to the border of Gallatin County. Option B follows 19th south from the interstate to Patterson Road, then continues the boundary line west along Patterson until it reaches Gallatin Gateway boundary. It then continues the boundary line south following the Gallatin Gateway boundary. Option C is similar to Option A, except the area west of 19th and east of Davis Lane are extended and south of Durston. Main and College are included in Bozeman High School area.
Now this is option D, and it's one that they're calling a diagonal option. This line right here makes it so that there's equal distance between the two schools, and it also makes it possible for students to be able to walk or bike to school. Now this option here makes it so that the rural student population is pretty much equal in both of the schools. Now if we go to option E, this moves the line from 19th to Fowler, and as you can see, the area north of the interstate right here is split between the two schools.
Rather than giving a traditional presentation, the district will have stations with each option at the information session.
And then allow folks to go and dig in as deep as they want with the details of each option. Well, everyone processes differently. I think that, some folks are really comfortable with emailing and giving their opinion, and some people want to talk through and ask more questions. So we're just trying to provide as many avenues as we can for folks to give us their input.
As a committee member, trustee, and parent, no matter what the boundary line decision is, Neil says he doesn't have concerns.
I'm 100% fine with my kids going to either high school. They're both going to be amazing high schools once the construction is complete.
In Bozeman, Emma Hamilton, MTN News.
Now tonight's meeting will be held at the Bozeman High School Berg Library. The Transition Committee plans to make a recommendation to the board by January, and that board will be making their final decision later this month. In other news, police in Butte are warning retailers to be on the lookout for fake money circulating around town. Police have several reports of people trying to use phony money at area stores and casinos. On Sunday, police arrested 21-year-old Alex Oizer attempting to get change for a fake $50 bill at a casino. Police said there are fake 20s and 10s also being used.
Where we've encountered either bills that have some sort of Chinese writing on the back of them that are used for props in commercials and movie businesses and stuff like that. They can get them off the internet. A couple of recent ones we've had are the bills actually say for motion picture use only on the back of them.
So cashiers are being warned to examine that money that they receive, and if it turns out to be fake, keep the bill and call the police.
In other news this morning, the 22nd annual Bozeman Ice Festival kicked off last night at the Emerson Center in Bozeman. Festival includes ice climbing clinics in the Gallatin Canyon. Now this morning, starting at 8, the annual event will feature ice climbing clinics as well as evening presentations and films in Bozeman through Sunday, December 9th. Highlight Canyon has long been a popular destination for ice climbers from all over the world.
And ice climbers are actually probably the single largest contributor to those funds, and so having that access year-round till the end of March has made all the difference in the world. It's turned it in from just a local area for a few weeks before the skiing gets really good to a destination for people for 4 months.
And that is a true fact. Due to the recent cold weather, most of the waterfalls around the canyon are well frozen, making for ideal climbing experiences. And if you remember last week, we had Conrad Anker in here talking about that. He left us to go up and do some climbing up there, so it's been fantastic.
He did.
So yeah, look out for them around town.
Very much so. And have a great weekend at the
Absolutely
East Fest.
true.
It's
Glad
always
you're
a
here.
good time. It is time for a quick break. In a moment, we meet a man from Arlee who is preserving his culture and his family traditions by sharing his passion with the world.
But before that, we're going to check in with Nora O'Donnell, see what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning today, the Bush family will bury their patriarch and the country's 41st president. Diana Goladriga is in Houston with what to expect from today's final ceremonies. And we sit down with Apple's COO and the VP of Health as they roll out a new heart health feature for the Apple Watch. We'll see you at 7.